Welcome, everyone, to the Credible Nerds podcast. My name is Justin, and I'm here to talk to you guys about something that I've been looking forward to for over a year now. It's something that was pretty exciting when it was first announced. Last year, Brandon Sanderson, a fantasy author, if you're not aware of him, make sure you Google him, check him out. He's got some great books if you like to read fantasy stories. But he announced that he had been writing 4 novels in secret, without knowledge to his fans. And so he announced that the year of 2023 would be the year of Sanderson, and that he would release these novels that he had written in multiple formats, from digital to audiobook to hard copies, right? And he'd do it all along with a lot of swag in that pertain to the different stories. And that each month he'd be releasing a swag box. He would release the book one month and then some swag the next month, more swag, and then it'd be start over again with the next book. And so I was excited for this. I jumped on board the Kickstarter. It was through Kickstarter, and if you hadn't heard, it was the most funded, most successful Kickstarter in the history of Kickstarter. So, one of the biggest projects ever. The fans responded in kind, and hundreds, if not thousands, of people bought these books and this swag box. So I did as well. Jumped on board immediately and ordered my stuff. Spent a lot of money on it, and so I'm happy to announce that as of a few days ago, I finally got the first book, Tress of the Emerald Sea, which was Secret Project book number 1. They did announce that there would be some delays, and I'm okay with some delays. One of my pet peeves, I guess, with this whole project, one of the things that really bothers me about this project is the delays. And I get, if you're selling lots of product, books, there's a lot of variables in this mix, but I feel like they kind of dropped the ball, at least on this first book. The Kickstarter closed March 31st, and so they've had quite some time. They had the rest of 2022 to get the book ready, and it wasn't ready, so they pushed it back, kept pushing it back, kept pushing it back. And I know there were some problems with the publishing company, or the printer, I guess, and so there was some delays that way. But one of the things that I guess that bothers me, I don't want to get into the negative stuff too much, but I do want to address it up front, because really that's my only complaint. Everything else has been great, and the book was fantastic and everything. So I want to get that out of the way, I guess. But so I got my book mailed to me on April 4th. And so that was well over a year since the Kickstarter was announced, over 3 months from when I was supposed to get it initially when I signed on. So I was a little bugged about that. But I guess one of the bigger things that really bothers me is this was sold as an exclusive event. You're going to get exclusive access to these books. And then in November of 2022 at Dragonsteel Con, Brandon Sanderson's convention that he had last year, which was great, he announced that Tor would be publishing these books as well, and that they would come out after the product that we ordered on Kickstarter would get to us. And I know I'm splitting hairs, but it's got to be brought up. It's got to be addressed that the book was published by Tor. It was released on April 4th, which was before I was able to get my book. Small qualm, but yet it kind of bothers me. It kind of, I don't understand how it could be delayed that much. I'm not in the business, so I don't know, but it just seems like I was one of the first to order the book, back the project, and I was one of the last to receive the book. So that bothers me. Based on a project that was, sold on exclusivity, exclusive items, exclusive access, but yet I get my book, and others get their books after Tor publishes the book, as they do. So that whole thing bothers me. But I'm not here to talk about that. I just want to bring that up, and it's got to be. That's what happened. Those are the facts, and so it's got to be talked about. But to be honest, I was excited. We got our digital copy, we got our audiobook, We got some digital items all on January 1st, 2023. So I immediately started reading the book, Tress of the Emerald Sea, and it was fantastic. It's a great book. I do have some reservations about the book, but overall I probably gave it a 9 out of 10. It was great. So I don't want to diminish the product itself. And Brandon Sanderson's a prolific writer, written some great stories. So I'm not criticizing him. I guess I'm just criticizing the process and how many delays there were. They kept us updated on, the delays and stuff. But it's frustrating to get an email every couple of weeks, every once a month. Oh, your book's not coming yet. It's been delayed. And I think that is sandwiched, or that is in addition to another Brandon Sanderson project I backed for the White Sands graphic novel, which has been delayed and delayed and delayed. So I think those two combined, where I'm just getting emails about these products that I've spent hundreds of dollars on, and I'm still not getting them, despite other people have gotten them. I still have yet to receive the White Sands graphic novel, and apparently everything's fine with that. They're finally shipping stuff out, but still don't have it. So I guess that whole thing is just sandwiched together, and it's frustrating. But the actual product has been great. So what I want to do is open these boxes that I got. The first one was the first two were swag boxes. They did move up the swag boxes. This one is the Hoid one that came with the Tress of the Emerald Sea in conjunction with that, and it was shipped to me on January 20th, so I got it to the end of January. Have yet to open it because I wanted to get the book and open them together, but that took another almost 3 months. So here I am. If you're asking, why are you doing this reveal, this opening unboxing video now, it's because I just got my book now. I mean, that's the reality. So let's open it up and see what we got. I have yet to see. I've seen some pictures of others, what they've got. Dragonsteel card with a list of contents, so what's in the box. We've got a pretty cool Cosmere pin, character pin. There's going to be pins released throughout the year in these boxes. So this is the first one, and it's Hoid apparently. 002-Hoid Series 1. Pretty cool. I like pins. Been collecting them, as many as I can from the beginning. So it's great to get that. Looks good. We got some Post-it notes. Let's see. There are still stories to tell, so it looks Cosmere themed. Not bad. You can always use some good Post-it notes. Got a T-shirt. Look at that. Looks pretty sweet. Imagine it's Hoid. Yeah, Hoid for president. It's kind of cool. I like the color. Finally get to see a face for Hoid. He's been this enigmatic character that's appeared throughout a lot of the books, and we don't have a lot of artwork about him. At least I haven't seen any. Looks like here, a Hoid mouse pad. This was a print. This is also a digital print that was released in the digital content on January 1st of this year. So it's kind of cool. Already got a big mouse pad, but let's see what I can do with that. And then it looks like got some stickers. Hoid was here on one end, on this side, and then contains 100% nonsense on the other side. So interesting. And I guess that's it. So officially we got the list here. So Hoid for President t-shirt, Hoid mouse pad, Wit sticky notes. Wit is also another name for Hoid. Hoid gold seals, and a Cosmere character pin. So definitely a Hoid box, Hoid themed box. And I like Hoid. I mean, he's always been good to look for in the stories and kind of keep your eye out for him and see where he appears. As far as I know, he's appeared in all the Cosmere novels in some form. Sometimes it's just a quick cameo. Sometimes it's a full-on conversation with one of the main characters, so we learn some information. With Tress of the Emerald Sea, Hoid is one of the main characters, I would say, that is there and is present throughout the story. So it was good to kind of get more info on Hoid and kind of see how things play out with him and his different personalities and his different way he handles things. So we learned more about him in this last novel, Tress of the Emerald Sea. So next up, we got the, kind of hard to see with this thing, Cytoverse box. It's mirrored. The Cytoverse box. And I got this box sent to me on March 2nd. So this one was on time. And again, we got the list of things. And this is the Cytoverse box. If you haven't read any of the Cytoverse novels, they're pretty good. They're not related to the Cosmere, at least not yet. You never know with Brandon. He might link them up somehow. But they're great young adult novels, kind of sci-fi-ish. And first I was initially not interested, but my friends kept recommending it, saying it was great. I needed to check it out, so I did. I listened to it on audio as far as this goes, through Audible, and I've enjoyed the three main novels. I haven't read the short stories yet, but I'll eventually get there. And this next Cytoverse book will be coming out at the end of the year, it looks like. But in this box, we got the Doom Slug silicone molds to, I guess, make ice cubes or maybe some treats, so kind of cool. Then the pin, 003 Tress. She's a main character in the Wax and Wayne Mistborn novels. She's great. If you want to watch our Lost Metal review that Mark and I did, we talked about Tress and how we really didn't like her that first book. She's kind of annoying, and I'm pretty sure that's how her character was meant to be. You find her annoying, and then as the story goes on, you grow to love her, which we both did, and we gave major props and shout outs to Tress and her character journey that we got in that 4-book series. So go back and watch the Lost Metal review that we did. I think it posted a couple months ago, so it's here on our YouTube channel as well, so definitely check that out. Go Fish. It's got some cards, Doom Slug Go Fish playing cards. I do like that they're doing a lot of cards with the Cosmere. I don't play a lot of cards, but they're fun to collect, so there's that. And then I've got this cool box, interesting. I'm not sure what this is. Let's look at the list of contents. So it looks like it is a premium MBOT model based on the MBOT schematics, die-cast replica of the spaceship that we read about in the Cytoverse. And it's got a display stand, so pretty cool. I'll have to open that up and see what it looks like. So maybe I'll do that now. No, do that later. Sorry. So that's the Cytoverse box. It is interesting that we're doing these swag boxes. Participated in some of those when they first came out. The Funko box where you got the exclusive Funko Pops. And then I did the Star Wars one. And then there was what was the first one called? It just had random, like each box had a theme, but they kind of had a random stuff in there. I can't remember what the original one, but I did that for a while too. But then I find that you're just collecting all this cool stuff, but you're really not, what do you do with it? You display it, and then pretty soon your shelves are overflowing with things that you never use. So I stopped collecting those. But I like this. I like the Dragonstone stuff, so I like what I see. So here we got the book. Tress of the Emerald Sea. Okay, here's the first pin. I was getting a little worried because the first pin I opened in that last box, the first box was number 2, Hoid, and then it got number 3, Tress. So I was like, oh, where's number 1? but it makes sense it'd be in this box. It's 001 Vin from the original Mistborn series, which is great. I like it. We got the card with the contents. Okay. What is this? Okay, looks like a sticker. Tress of the Emerald Sea sticker. That's kind of her. Which is the artwork that we've been seeing in these books. So that's pretty cool. We got a bookmark for Tress. I really loved the artwork that I saw in the digital book. A lot of great drawings and pretty imaginative. I like the overall tone of this book, Tress of the Emerald Sea. It is a cross. I think Brandon talked about it previous to this book coming out, but it's a cross between a pirate story, Princess Bride, and some other. So it's kind of got that classic fantasy love story type feel to it, even though there's a love story. Yeah. So I really enjoyed it. Just the overall tone of the book. We got another bookmark, World Hopper, with that digital print of Hoid on one end. And on the back, it says World Hopper. It's got some constellations, which was referred to in the book. So it looks like we got Scadrial, Nalthis, Roshar, Sel. We got the different planets, Threnody, from the Cosmere, first of the sun too. So that's kind of cool. You kind of get a visual idea of where the planets sit in the constellations that are referenced in the book. If you don't have the maps from the Cosmere, I encourage you to go to Brandon Sanderson's online shop and buy them. Got some pretty cool prints with, how they're not exact coordinates and stuff, but you kind of get an idea of the different planets and the moons and how they're set up in the system there. So it's pretty cool to get those and hang them on your wall. So I definitely encourage you to do that if you haven't already. And here we go, finally, the book that I've been waiting for since January of this year and ordered over a year ago, Tress of the Emerald Sea. Hardback. Let's open this one up. See if I can open it up without breaking stuff. Okay, so here we go. Tress of the Emerald Sea. Let's continue. The camera's not really working. Okay, Tress of the Emerald Sea. The backside, it's got a blurb on it, a summary. Illustrations by Howard Lyon. He did a great job, like I said. Got some cups. They're a big part of the story. Got some good artwork. For Emily, who has all my love. Contents, acknowledgements. Then the story begins. You got some artwork. Again, another beautifully crafted book, as all these premium editions have been. So check it out. Obviously, I won't be reading this one because who reads your exclusive editions, right? You don't want to crack the spine. I don't read my leather-bound books. I just put them on the shelf and look at them and say, oh, those are cool. So this is not signed or numbered, which is kind of disappointing, but I understand why. There's a lot of books to be sold, and so it'd be another thing that Brandon would have to do. So, and he was already signing tons. So I get it. We'll just have to get his signature at the next convention and see how that goes. But like I said, I read the book previously on the digital. That's pretty much how I read my books nowadays, is through digital formats, or I listen to them on Audible. But I'll have a short review of Tress of the Emerald Sea, either in written format on the website, crediblenerds.com, or I'll do a short video talking about it because I did like it. Great story. And I'm glad I was able to finally get the book and display it on my shelf. So let me know what you think if you did participate in the Kickstarter and if you were able to get your book finally, what you think of the book, or if you were just holding out for the Tor versions. I'm curious to see how those are, if they're just standard run of the mill or if they do an extra some extra things with them or not. But I'm surprised that there wasn't a like a leather bound option in the Kickstarter program, and I'm sure that'll happen at the 10-year anniversary of this, 2033 or maybe 32. But yeah, so this is the book. We'll be doing more unboxing videos for the next series that comes along. Let's see, in the Kickstarter Year of Sanderson, the next themed box is another book. I haven't got the book yet, but I did get the digital products. And then in May, there's a Mistborn themed swag box. And in June is an Elantris Emperor's Soul swag box. So heading back to the Cosmere after this month. This month is, from what I understand, I haven't actually read the book, but from what I understand, this quarter's book or this month's book is not Cosmere related, but it's still a fun story. So let me see. All I remember of the title is The Frugal Wizard. Let's see. The Frugal Wizard's Handbook for Surviving Medieval England. So quite a mouthful. And I remember reading a little bit of the kind of overall summary of it, and it looked pretty interesting. So I'm looking forward to reading it. Tor's printing that June 27th. So hopefully I'll get the book before then, unlike Tress of the Emerald Sea. I'm hoping they got all their publication issues worked out and it'll come to me soon. So again, subscribe to our YouTube channel. We're going to be having a lot more Cosmere related reviews, content. In general, we'll be talking more about it because it is the Year of Sanderson. Mark and I will do some book reviews, and I'll be doing some written reviews as well. I like to do both, but it's hard. Just a small operation here, and we only got so much time. But I really like the Cosmere, Brandon Sanderson's books. It's worth reading if you haven't read them already, so definitely check those out and give it a try. So thanks, guys, for joining us. Subscribe to the channel, like the video, comment on the video. Let us know what you think about these swag boxes of this Year of the Sanderson. If you're enjoying it, if you're underwhelmed, overwhelmed, whatever whelmed you are. So again, thanks for joining us, and we'll catch you next time.